This is the Jabberjaw Podcast Network.
I'm throwing a party when I graduate MIT. We're gonna go bowling naked. Cause I'm a sex nerd.
Welcome to Friend or Foe. This is Devlin Wilder, and today is a very special day on Friend or Foe. I have the very lovely and amazing super comedian and sex positive Lahna Turner, and this is the first of, well, this is a pod swap episode.
Right, which apparently is right up your alley.
That's right.
and since I'm sex positive, which I'm not used to being called that, which I like. But
you are.
Yeah, this is a pod. So you guys are also going to be able to listen to this audio on Perfect 10 Podcast, which I love being able to pod swap because we get to know each other's audience this way.
Absolutely.
So cool.
Here we go. This episode and show would still like to be sponsored by Mountain Dew Label Series. Unleash the intensity of the newest and boldest dew, now in crafted 3 incredible flavors in 16-ounce cans, including Black Label Dark Berry, Green Label Green Apple Kiwi, and White Label Tropical Citrus. Do the Dew. Sponsor this podcast. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Oh.
Lahna Turner.
Wow.
Welcome, Lahna.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to be here. I've never been called sex positive before.
Well, you really are. I listened to I didn't go through your entire anthology of shows. It is.
I can't help it. I'm very I've got to.
No apologies needed. We're very sex positive
thing.
on this show too.
Okay, good.
And I don't get to talk about it enough, honestly, because here's the thing. It took me a long time. I didn't have sex until I was 31, which is nuts in this day and age, but that's the way it happened. I came from a very conservative, tiny, small town mentality. It took me a long time to really broaden my horizons, and it's one of the reasons I'm an actor and performer. I'm an extroverted introvert, as they say, and I really have to push my own boundaries. I really have to indoctrinate myself to be. It took me a really long time to find myself mentally, spiritually, and sexually.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find myself.
Are you?
I can talk about sex because, and as a female comic, I can, go to places that other people can't because I don't think I haven't treated myself that well in the sex department. I'm newly single. I want to now start exploring my own sexuality, and I do that a lot by talking to other people who are very sexually liberated. But I was actually 21 when I lost my virginity, so 31 is a lot older, but still 21 is considered kind of even old for people today.
It is now,
yeah.
It seems to be, which is dumb. It's just dumb.
No, but
you have the experience when you have the experience,
right? It's for you. There's no rushing. I also didn't have very many partners. I met my now ex-husband at 24, so I'd only had 3 partners before I met him, and so I really didn't get to know myself in that area as well as I would like to now. So I like talking about it a lot with people, and I'm fascinated by people in the porn industry and people who are just so open. A lot of women that I know are really liberated, and I love it. But I'm not. And I'd like to be, but I find
that so interesting because you talk about it so openly on your show.
Yeah, it's always
but you really do. That's very
maybe
interesting.
Maybe it's just really on my mind. I'm really deprived right now. It's been a long, enduring divorce, and even when I was married, it was pretty bad there for a long time in that department. So I'm probably focused on it.
But you brought that to a whole new perspective with your Limeade video, which is really incredible. I was just watching it right before I came over here, and it's wacky and shamelessly sexual and also very cathartic.
Yeah, that's a good word to describe the process for me. I got really lucky being able to do that project. So basically, it's a visual album. It's called Limeade because it came out around this year with Lemonade. I just kind of hooked onto that idea of, I loved Lemonade. So it's a visual album, 10 songs tracing my divorce and the 5 stages of mourning. So yeah, it was cathartic for sure. I mean, those videos, I'm crying in those videos. I was really crying on set. Like that was
Wow.
real. Yeah. So it was a process. I'm very blessed I got to do that.
I really enjoyed it. It speaks a lot of different volumes, as you're going through the process. And I noticed I was just reading through the comments. I mean, of course, there were a lot of trolls, but there were also a lot of really positive comments on there that you were,
I
helping.
get comments every day now from people that stumble into it. I mean, it's sort of I want it to get viral. I want it to go big and have people see it. And it's in just the first few months, it's gotten over 30,000 views. So it's doing well. And almost every day I get something from somebody via Twitter or whatever, direct message, somebody saying, my God, I'm going through something. And that was really cool. Or some pervy dude, like, I really like the masturbation video.
Yeah, that's real.
Because you can watch the individual videos too. And the one video, oddly, that's had the most hits is the masturbation one. I'm not sure why. That one seems to be taking on a life of its own.
Indeed.
Yeah. But I've had to do a lot of that, I feel like it might become a problem for me because I'm like on my own so much. So
no, I don't think
sane.
so at all.
I'm happy.
Absolutely. I think you really do so much, not only in your show, but in your stand-up and things, that you're always broadening yourself and expanding and finding more things out, and the connections that you're making out in the comedy world. And you've had such an eclectic mix of people on your show as well. Like I was listening to the Big Mike show, and all his really incredible and I couldn't believe the stories that he was telling.
I know, right? When I came, so the podcast has had an evolution. I mean, it's been on for a long time and it's had different phases. I started it originally because I wanted evergreen content. So for my ex-husband, well, he's not even my ex. We're not officially divorced, but he's my ex, is Ralphie May, a comedian. And he's on the road all the time. So it was really hard for him to maintain a podcast. So my concept with him was to go collect audio or interviews with people, and then we would sit down and discuss it between us. And it was really fun. It was a lot of work and a lot of editing early on. So the production value earlier on in the podcast is different than it is now. But my rule has always been that I think everybody is famous now, because everybody kind of lives on the internet. It doesn't matter if it's your neighbor. If you meet somebody in the grocery store and you Google them, you're going to most likely find something out about them on the internet. And with that in mind, then I think everybody sort of has a right or an opportunity to have a story that they could tell and be interviewed. And so that's my only rule, is that they haven't really shared that story anywhere else on the internet. And then we can talk about it. And because once it's on the internet, once it's out there, once you've done it on a podcast, it's kind of evergreen. It can always be listened to and downloaded. So, but Mike is a comedian, and he's doing great, and I love Mike. I've known him for years. He's actually been on the podcast a bunch of times.
Oh, good.
But I did like that last interview with him a lot because we talked about his incarceration, and I can't even relate. I live in like this crazy white world. I was like, dude, I'm fascinated by your experience because that is so far from mine. He's amazing. I love Mike.
I had the same experience listening to it because I'm a nerdy white kid.
Yeah.
I've lived very much a Weird Al life. I don't drink that much. I don't party. I'm in my own little nerd world.
31 to lose your virginity. I think Mike was like 13 or something when he talked about it. Yeah.
Right.
So he's experienced a lot of stuff in his life. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Everyone has a story. I embrace technology and the internet and social media so much because it helps people, everyone get it out there. And that's also why I love having this show, because it helps me to meet great people like you. I mean, we've never met before today, right?
Now
and thanks to the magic of Twitter, here we are.
Yeah.
My show, actually, its genesis more or less came from Twitter, and it's gone through many transitions. It was formerly the Friend or Faux show, FOE, and now it's Friend or Foe. Used to have a co-host. Now it's just me. It's great and powerful how we're able to continue generating new things and new ideas and growing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people too are fixated on, I want to have a podcast and I want like 1 million subscribers or whatever it is. I love doing it, And I love that people are interested in listening to it. But like you said, the best part is that I get to hang out with people and get to know them. And I mean, I don't know. I hope it continues to build. It'd be great to have 1 million subscribers, but that's not why I do it. I do it because it's just really, really fun. And I mean, if nobody's listening, then you're just putting it out there. But,
Then it tends to be an issue.
but you know what? It goes into space.
Right.
So who knows where it'll end up,
That's right.
right?
The Martians are listening to you
Who knows?
talk to Nikki right now.
That's right. Nikki. Yeah, Nikki wants. She was sort of like a co-host for a while. She came in and started helping, and God, she's got great stories. And she's one of those women who is very like sexually liberated, that I'm just like in awe of her honesty and just what she does with her body. I'm just like, I like it. I think it's cool.
I will preface this by saying I know she's going to be embarrassed, but she's also aware that I'm going to be talking about her on this show. I'm actually poly, and I'm dating someone who is not. And
Poly?
Polyamorous.
What is this? Multiple?
Yes, as opposed to an open relationship where you have a girlfriend, a main person that you're seeing, and then free to have sexual partners with whoever you want. Polyamory is dating multiple people. You're still free to have sexual relationships as long as all partners are aware of the activity. That's the glue that keeps it together, is that all partners involved have to be aware of what's happening.
So you have several partners, like several people that you're dating
I have.
at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you just don't sneak around.
That's right.
So
There's no cheating. There is jealousy, obviously, because that's human.
right.
And we
Interesting that you went from waiting to 31 to lose your virginity to
yes, I've come a long way in
wanting
my,
to have
in my
multiple
sexuality.
partners. No, that's terrific. But I
Well,
think
thank you.
that's more honest to what we're supposed to be doing anyways. Like monogamy doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't work for me.
There were animals. They say that there are monogamous animals, and I've looked it up. I don't think there really are. Like all that stuff about like swans, it's like bullshit.
Dating. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mating for life.
There's like bacteria that live inside of us, and they fuck each other like
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no sense in monogamy. I mean, I think it works to some degree for, like raising children and trying to, because the ecosystem is so hard to survive in without having because we don't have a tribal situation where we have people that we can really lean on,
Mm-hmm.
but sexually, it doesn't work, does it?
Well, I
Not
don't
for
want to. I
everyone.
don't want to speak for everyone.
Right. But for we're
absolutely-
seeing it not work a lot.
I do agree. It doesn't work for me. Not anymore. I've had lots of discussions with the person I'm seeing about
So you have
it,
one
and
key person that you're with, or is
currently it's complicated is a severe understatement, but
she wants to be monogamous?
she does not really subscribe to polyamory.
Okay.
Only because monogamy works for her and
Right.
polyamory works for me.
She's a little bit monogamous, and you're a little bit
Yes, exactly. We continue to have discussions about it. It's a trial, but it's worth it because the person that I'm dating now, she's incredibly special to me. She's very, very special. We have each other's heart. She is doing her very best to be understanding of me, so I'm doing all that I can to be understanding of.
How long have you guys
her.
been together?
Nearly a year now.
And you've been monogamous?
I wasn't. I told her that I was polyamorous from the very beginning, and she knew that. And she allowed me to pursue that far into our relationship, and
Was she also sort of dating other people at the beginning?
She did temporarily date someone else. It didn't work out. Mm-hmm.
Well, it didn't work out, but I guess it doesn't work out all the time because you're
Sure, of course.
dating other
Just
people.
like, yes.
Yeah. It's not meant to really... Is it meant to work out forever? I don't even know. I guess you could have a relationship with one partner while having other partners throughout your entire life. Why not? Continually go back to that person because... Right?
Right.
It's so much better than cheating. Oh, my God. I don't understand why people would cheat on... I mean, I've experienced that. I've not ever cheated on anyone, but I've been on the receiving end.
Right.
And I'm like, if you want to go with somebody else, just tell me. And I think there's something about it that must feel like fun for that person to do it. I don't know. I haven't really, I've never done it, so I don't know. I would feel terrible, but
Right. Well, I think sometimes that a lot of men are they get off by the sneakiness.
right. Women too, maybe too, right? I mean,
Sure.
yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
And I don't.
Or they don't want to give up what they have with the person. Because look, I mean, if you might have to give
Because
up this
it would hurt them
relationship
too much.
If
Right.
yeah, you don't want to give it up, or you also love that person, but you just have an urge. I don't know, or if something comes along, and yeah, but to just be open about it, it's ideal. Do you ever worry about diseases?
Of course.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
Worry, yes.
Especially LA. Just this is like a fucking petri dish. I'm sorry if I can curse. I don't even know, but
yeah.
that you have to
Fuck
say
yes.
that when you're talking
Sure.
about STDs, because it's just I'm terrified. It seems like it's just really easy to accidentally, pick up something.
Oh yeah,
but,
sure. You don't want any creepy crawlies
Yeah,
digging around down there.
Yeah.
I definitely don't. I'm a germaphobe as it is, so
Yeah.
I'm extra neurotic.
Yeah, you waited to 31 to lose your virginity. You don't want to have to catch
Exactly.
something that jacks
That's right.
that up.
I'm extraordinarily safe. When I was with any other partners, obviously, I was using condoms. Always
Do you always use
condoms.
a condom with your key partner too? Or with that partner, you can be a little more lax.
That's right.
So you always have one kind of person, and then you kind of can play around. If you meet somebody that you want to be with, am I understanding that correctly?
Absolutely.
How do you meet people? Like, how do you do that?
All the ways. I'm on Bumble and Tinder and, well, not currently, but I was using the dating apps and including some really odd ones like Sizzle.
I don't
Did
even
you hear
know
of
that.
Sizzle?
No.
It was the dating app for bacon lovers.
Ah,
Yeah,
Really?
that actually existed. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
yeah.
Ew. Are you just saying that? I mean, you're not, but
No,
are you
it-
just saying
it
like
totally
I'm really
existed.
fat, so come find me on Sizzle?
Well, hey, I love bacon.
I guess so.
I
Okay.
also really
Or
love
it's also
Mountain
saying,
Dew, which
hey,
I keep getting yelled at. for.
if you don't want to be on Sizzle, just go to J-Date.
That's right.
That's
It's
like a pretty
kosher.
clear. We don't want Jews on our dating app. I'm Jewish, so I can say that.
All are
But
welcome
anyways,
here.
okay. So Sizzle. All right. So you get on there and you would just say, I'm in a relationship, but I'm looking for more.
But again, it's all about open discussion and letting people know, letting all partners know what is happening and keeping them updated. There's no reason to cheat. There's no viable reason to cheat.
Right. Right. So ultimately, if she doesn't want you to be with other people and you can't take that, then it's not the right relationship, which is a
We're-
shame because I know you really like her.
We're working on it and working through it, and
Does she want to get married? Is that
we do
something?
not.
Oh, okay. So then
No,
what's
no marriage in the future. No,
okay? Does she want to have children?
no,
Okay. So
100% no.
do you ever want to have children?
No.
No interest. So then,
Not really.
yeah. So then there really isn't any. I mean, I really think unless there's like some sort of, I don't know, reason to financially be bound to that person or to make kids. Like, I don't know. Going through a divorce, I've just been like, it's been really interesting to learn how terrible that is. Like, it's just a totally different thing. I never thought I would ever be here, but I actually shouldn't say it's all terrible. I did a joke last night where I said getting divorced is kind of like the first time you do mushrooms, because it's pretty awesome once you get away from it. Because if you're not like I wasn't all that happy. I didn't know I wasn't, but I've been a lot happier in many ways now. But it's like it's a mess to undo 17 years of her life. So fun.
I'm a child of
waka waka.
divorce, so
Are you?
I'm very aware of the whole.
Where did you grow up?
Southern Illinois.
Okay. So you said it was very conservative.
Extremely.
And you were raised by both parents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They divorced when I was 16.
Oh, not even that young for you.
Right. So, I mean, I was very aware of everything. It wasn't that I was, too young not to get it. I'd actually expected it for a while.
You saw it before they did.
Oh, absolutely.
How so were they
they
fighting?
They
or-
always loved each other, but they didn't really like each other. So that caused a lot of issues, and I'm happy that they parted ways. My dad remarried, and he's been with his new wife for a long time now, and they're very, very happy. And so, they just, it caused too many situations between them and while I was growing up, just a lot of yelling and emo feelings,
Aw. Oh no, I know.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I've got pretty young kids, so it's hard for them to kind of wrap their mind around it. I mean, because they don't really understand yet, but they will as they get older. And I don't know. I'm their sole caregiver, so like 100%. So that's kind of a whole other thing.
but you're doing pretty well.
I'm trying.
You've got a successful career.
Trying. By saying successful, meaning that I make money.
Well, I found you. So
you found me. Yeah,
through,
I'm doing pretty
through your
well.
comedy. So
It's funny because as entertainers and comedians, I feel like we're always really looking in front of us at what we haven't done as opposed to behind us at what we have accomplished. So if you take a minute and you turn around and you look down the mountain, you're like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I've been doing stand-up for like 13 years, and I've produced now like this visual album. I have a couple of other albums out, a 1 hour special. Those are all really big things. I'm not able to tour that much right now, so I'm not able to generate income just because I am with the kids all the time. But I've got this other project that I'm working on for the summer, and I'm trying to get another 1 hour special, which is in the works. So yeah, there are good things. But yeah, but I think we're always looking up going, fuck, I could be so much more successful.
Of course.
So, but success is all relative. Like when I first started comedy, all I wanted to do was be able to perform. My dream was always to perform at festivals, like outdoor festivals and concerts, like on the comedy stage you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty attainable. Yeah,
Sure.
It's pretty low rung.
Absolutely.
So I've done a couple things like that. So set the bar low, then you'll feel.
What
like
was
you've
one
done
of
well.
your favorite experiences of live performances that you've done?
Oh my gosh. Well, I can pinpoint a couple, but like probably the most surreal performance was in Iraq. I performed in at Camp Victory, which is in Baghdad, which is it was located in Saddam Hussein's compound. So it's massive. And we slept in his house, swam in his pool.
Wait, rewind.
Yes.
In his house?
In his house. It had been ransacked and bombed. So we stayed in one of the bedrooms, and there was no furniture left, virtually no furniture. There was like this one chair in the entrance that was very heavy and bulky, and when his house was I guess it got ransacked by locals. They ran in there and took everything they could, but they couldn't take this one gigantic chair that I think it like basically says "Death to Israel" on it in Arabic. But I sat in the chair, and then
of course
he had a big table that wasn't removed, and there was like an old bed that was in one of the bedrooms, but pretty much everything was gone. They still had golden toilets in the room where we were, so I used a golden toilet and
took a golden shower in the golden toilet.
I would have. And then I mean, swimming in his pool was it was amazing. But like our military bombed his compound when they were looking for him, and so I went up on the roof, and you could stand over the point where the missile entered the house. So it was about as wide as, if I spread my legs comfortably, spread them apart, you could stand, you could look down in where the bomb, and so each level, it was several levels to the house. So the hole it was bigger and bigger and bigger until it hit the bedroom. I think it was his master suite where it actually, and then it just explodes. And that whole part of the house was, decimated.
Right.
But everything else was still as it was. And so the show we did there was on the footsteps of his palace. It was like on the balcony, which is not, calling it a balcony is, it'd be like standing on the front of like any government building, like a big area with a covering kind of thing. And then the troops there's probably 2,000 military personnel like in the area in front. And then I'm standing up on stage as the sun is setting. It's beautiful. And there's RPG missiles in the distance. Like, it's a crazy night.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was amazing. That was probably one of the coolest shows ever. But I've gotten to do a lot of really cool shows. I'm really lucky. I got to work for years with Ralphie, who works pretty decent sized theaters, or did anyways. And so I got to go. We had this kind of 2-week rule where I would go on the road and meet him places. And it was perfect because I could work and pay my way. We didn't have to pay another act to come. And it got a little old for me, though, I have to be honest, because I was done featuring 5 years at least earlier than to which I kept doing it, because it was trying to keep the kids with him and the marriage together unsuccessfully. But I would go and got to perform in just about every city and theaters and comedy clubs. Beautiful rooms. So that's cool. And nude comedy, that's a fun thing. I did some nudist comedy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I talked with my previous guest about, I just auditioned for a nude comedy troupe.
Really?
Recently. Mm-hmm.
For improv?
Mm-hmm.
That's even more frightening because you're with other nude people on stage at the same time, and there's actually like physical contact, right?
It was for a stand-up show. I auditioned for the troupe, so they were doing a general audition for all of their upcoming.
Program here, or is it?
No, it was. I think they're just called Nude Comedy LA.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder.
And it was at a studio. It was at a venue in Studio City.
Oh, it might have been the place where I did it. It was a little tiny theater and it was little acting theater.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it in 2 places, so I think it might be the same one. There can't be that many of them.
Yeah.
It's a really tiny theater.
Yeah,
right?
It was pretty tiny. Yeah.
Yep, with a bathroom. It's funny because during the intermission, everybody went to use the bathroom, and they had to walk through the little area in the back behind stage to use the bathroom.
Sure.
And I was sitting back there waiting to perform, and it was mostly men. So I was like, it was like just a train of dicks like walking back to the bathroom.
Right.
And it's just like I didn't know which way. There's like nowhere to look because I was right at eye level. It was just everywhere dick.
Just walking through a sea anemone.
Yeah.
Anemone.
Yeah.
Wow.
See cucumbers.
Yeah, sea cucumbers. Yes. That was the analogy I was looking for. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. It was, but yeah, so I did that show there. That was the last one I did. But I did another nude comedy show about 1.5 years earlier. I don't want to be a nude comic. Like, that's not my thing. I don't want to be like, hey, there's Lahna, the nudist comic. It was more about the challenge of doing it, because I had a panic attack for the first one. And because I performed so much for so many years, getting that sense of like nervousness and then getting through it is a rush now. Like, I want that. I want to do as like just jacked up weird shows, which, I get to do a lot of them. I mean, I did a show recently where, it was just in like this horrible venue without a microphone, and like you just had to figure out how to get through it, and it went great. But
those are always really the best performances, when it looks like doom, but it just goes wonderful. And of course, for performers, that instant gratification is such a rush.
Yeah. It's addictive, right? To get that laugh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every time.
You start to feel like something's wrong if you haven't been on stage in a while. There's something very broken about both of us that you feel.
You ain't kidding, sister.
Yeah, I know. But I also have to say now, there's something really, really valuable in not doing well, in that horrible feeling that you get, which I don't want to brag. Okay, it doesn't happen very often anymore. It didn't happen that much throughout my entire career. I've been very lucky because I play guitar and I'm good at what I do. But to have that really bad show where you walk away going, fuck, I feel like the biggest asshole. What did I do wrong? Is also incredibly rewarding, because then you've got to really analyze what you could have done different, and you learn the most. So I like those weird, awful nights now. when they happen.
I have a lot of those shows here too.
Yeah. So
where I'm like, God damn it, I was such a fucking idiot.
Those are the best, though.
But then, the magic of the delete button is really also pretty empowering.
Oh, you mean on the podcast?
Yeah.
Stop. I'm not believing that.
Do your own editing for your show?
I used to edit it. We used to take a lot of time with it. Now I just go and we record, and whatever was done is done.
And that's it.
And post it. Yeah, I don't have the time. I really like doing it. It's really fun, but I don't have the skill set either to sit down and edit.
Oh, goodness, I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just started working with Audition, so which I guess is the go-to podcast editing software. I have no idea.
No, I don't even edit a song into it anymore. I mean, I'm super lazy about it, but people seem to like it still.
I missed it a couple shows ago, but I've been trying to incorporate music too where I can. I think it mixes it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's kind of expected now. You have like a little intro, something to your show. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm so busy with everything that I'm amazed I'm able to get one up every week, which I somehow have managed. But
you do pretty well. What are you up to? Like
Episode?
150 something episodes now?
a lot. I've had over 1 million listens
That's
across the
amazing,
life of the
Lahna.
podcast. Yeah, I know. It's really, I'm very proud of it. But there's a lot of episodes, and then I mean that's the thing too, is it grows, right? So if you have old content, people can go back and listen to that. So it increases the number of listens. So
Sure.
last I checked, it had over 1 million just individual listens. But some of the podcasts have more than others. So
Oh, sure.
yeah, but yeah.
Well, we're all doing what we can as fellow podcasters, and I also saw that Limeade just is going to be or is on Amazon Video now.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, great.
What's nice about that is that it like YouTube. I think you get like 2 pennies on Amazon, whereas you get maybe a half a penny on YouTube.
Right.
But it's free to Amazon Prime. So I mean, I didn't produce Limeade to make money. Like you said about it being cathartic.
Right.
I don't know if I could have sold it. I probably could have. I don't know if it might have made it seem more valuable to people if they had to feel like they had to go in and buy it someplace or get it off of Netflix or something. I don't know, because it's about perception, right? But I really just wanted to like get it out and put it up for people to watch and hope that people enjoy it, because I mean, it's good. I'm proud of it.
It is very good. It's very enjoyable, and all of my listeners should check it out right now.
Go
please.
look at it. And here's the thing: if you want me to get 2 pennies instead of 1, you go to Amazon Prime or just go to YouTube. It really doesn't matter to me. And then when you love it, you like it, and then you share it. Or if you just like one video in it, like "Hate It the Cunt," then you go there and you share it with somebody who you really fucking hate, or somebody who you know who really hates a cunt, and then it goes on in the world.
That's right. Share the cunt.
Share the cunt.
Listeners, please. I'm on a really cool email list too. That's Dicks by Mail. You familiar with those
No.
guys? Yeah, I've used it many times.
What is that?
It's exactly what it sounds like. They send a bag of gummy dicks anonymously to whoever you'd like to send it to.
Like the edible ones?
Yeah.
Oh, there's that. I have that one thing in the video where I bite
saw-
into, and I put it on a meme up on.
I saw that. Yeah.
So you can. Why would you do it anonymous?
Well, or not
Or
so
not.
anonymously. You can send it.
It's called Bag of Dicks. Or
Bag of dicks. Yeah.
Bag of Dicks. Have you sent it?
I'll send it to you. Oh yes, many times.
to people.
Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious. If you send it to me, make sure I know it's arriving, because sometimes we'll get boxes from, and I'll be like, oh, I don't know what this is, and we'll open it up, and my kids will be like, oh, this is it's candy, and then I'll have
Sure.
to be like, yes, it's gummies.
Start popping them like Skittles.
So
and
my
then
daughter will be eating a gummy.
taste
dick
a whole
and
different rainbow.
Not
yeah,
know.
that's
She'll-
probably.
It's so fun. There's a place, Cake and Art on Santa Monica, where they make amazing cake, but they also have a little closet, and they have chocolate penises in there because it's right on Santa Monica and WeHo. So I guess guys go in there and I want a chocolate dick, so I was in there ordering my kid's birthday cake. Of course, I bring my kids to choose what they want, and she chose, princess cake, and my son chose Star Wars.
Sure.
And then she looks over and opens the cabinet of chocolate dicks, and she just looks in there, and then she makes kind of this face, and I don't think she knew what she saw. I don't think she put it together.
Right.
She just knew she wasn't supposed to open that closet. I don't think she put it together like they're, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
She was a little younger than she is now, but we were, maybe it was just the awkwardness of, ooh, we need to close
Yeah.
close the cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you send the gummy dicks to me,
I will let you know ahead of time. Don't worry. No anonymous dicks to you, Lahna.
well, I mean, there's lots of kids on my street. They'll all be running around like sharing their candies with everyone, and I'll just be like,
Yeah, and then I'll have that nice red dot over
Yeah.
my apartment.
well, no, I mean, all my neighbors, the parents will be like, oh, there's Lahna again with her candy dicks. Sorry, guys.
Oops. She
I guess
did it
if
again.
if you cut it up, they won't know what it is.
Yeah. Segmented dicks.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Who did you send them to?
Oh boy. I've
Oh, you sent them to a lot of people.
well, I sent one to Bank of America because I really hate those guys. And
What a waste of money.
probably true, but I felt better about myself.
Wait, and when saying polyamorous, are you also bisexual?
Yes.
Okay, I figured. I don't know.
Those don't necessarily go together, but yes, I am.
So that's okay. So did with your current girlfriend, does that complicate it for her as well? Because that would
Yes.
seem that would mean even more exploration for the two of you as well. Like, would she be comfortable? Well, she wouldn't be comfortable bringing a second guy into her life, would she? Well, I totally changed the subject from Bank of America.
No.
By the way,
No, that's totally fine.
I do want to hear about the gummy cocks at Bank of
we're
America.
done
but-
talking about bag of dicks.
Okay.
But no, I'm very glad that you brought that up. Yes, it is. It is definitely a constant discussion. I know I sound like a broken record with that, but it's definitely that because she cares about me so very much. She is always open to talking about it and fielding conversation on it. But it's definitely. It's a trial, as any relationship is on either side, on any side of the spectrum. You know?
It's always hard. I mean, you could have a relationship where somebody doesn't like, I don't know, like somebody doesn't like horror movies. I mean, like whatever it is, it causes a problem and a rift in the relationship. Just this is a little heavier. But I know I've known throughout my life a lot of couples to have a third person participate or join in, or even have three people in the relationship or more sometimes. But I don't know. You've got way more experience with that. God, look at you. You lose your virginity at 31, and then did you lose your virginity to a man or a woman?
To a woman.
To a woman. So how long did it take you from 31 after being with women to realize that you wanted to experience
I always knew.
men? You always knew. Is that what took you so long? Wait, you?
Well, okay. I shouldn't say I always knew. I didn't always know that I was also, sexually romantically attracted to men, but I knew, there were some instances in my childhood where I would, I have a lot of different fetishes anyway, and I would
Like what?
I would masturbate to. As everyone does, to posters, and there was a friend of mine growing up that I never. It never really circulated that way in my brain until much later. But I would masturbate thinking about him and things of that nature. But I never took it any farther than that. As I have a TF fetish. You've heard of furries?
Oh, are you a furry?
Nope, not a furry. Not a furry.
I don't know what TF means.
Well, it's a transformation. Werewolves, for example, not someone that has already become a werewolf, which would be analogous to a furry, but someone in the process of transformation, of transforming into a wolf or another creature. I don't. I've traced it back really far. I don't know exactly where the genesis of that came from.
For you or for anybody?
Well, I can only speak for myself. To Psych 101 myself, I believe that as I talked with you previously, my life has been continual, very bold transitions. It took me so long to really find out how I work and how I tick. And I think a lot of my life I wanted to be someone else. I wanted to be something else. And so I think that particular fetish speaks to that psychology, that if I were to become a wolf or a cat or a bat or whatever it happens to be, then I'm translating myself to a different perspective of life that takes me away from who I am, so I can take a break from that for a little while.
Oh, interesting.
It's sort of I've also compared it to like escapism with my love of pop culture. I love being in the movie theater. It helps me to escape everything that's within my world. I think that romantic attachment in my psyche is sort of the same thing. It helps pull me away from all the crap I got mucking up my mind.
Oh.
Sorry,
I have so many
didn't mean-
questions.
Please, drop them on me.
I've never been a furry. I did date a very hairy man once.
Okay, a bear?
He was just, I guess he was the sweetest guy. We were really good friends, and I adored him. If I saw him today, I would still adore him. Incredibly talented, smart guy. Very hairy. I was not attracted to how hairy he was, but I loved him because of who he was. We were friends, and we should never have dated. Like, it wasn't meant to be. But like, incredible, but not. But I wouldn't call myself a furry because that's a whole. So you said there's a different point. I'm not making fun, but there's like a different point. So you're saying like a furry is somebody who like wants somebody who's fully transitioned into that animal.
Well, let me.
And then
let
there's
me
a whole
be-
transitional period.
Let me clarify because
Okay.
I'm going to get a lot of angry emails. I'm
I'm
already
sorry.
sure. No, not from you. I'm
Oh.
just of my own misrepresentation
'Cause people
of
feel like
explaining
you're-
it because they'll be like, "That's not what it is."
Well, 'cause for everybody, it's gonna be their own identification, though, right?
Absolutely. There's a broad spectrum of many different. I don't want to say labels, but
I didn't want to laugh at it. There's something very comedic about like somebody dressing up as like
Sure.
a giant squirrel and then being like frisky and
Well, yes,
But I can see what you're saying about wanting to be somebody else
that's a furry. Someone who is they are attracted to people in suits. That
like
gets
in
them
the
off.
costumes.
In the costumes.
But you know what? In some way, we're all attracted to some sort of form
That's right.
of suit or fashion. Like a man that I like might actually be very, very well dressed. And so who's to say, you know, and that might just remind me of my father as a child because that's my early association with what a man should be.
Right.
Like as a little girl. Like I like a scruffy guy because I remember when I was a little girl, my dad would tuck me in at night and he would kiss me and sometimes he would rub his face on my face and it wasn't sexual, but it was like that's what a man's supposed to feel like is like sandpapery on his face. So it's something about like a guy that hasn't shaved for a while, just having that like 5 o'clock shadow. I like that.
My lady really likes it when she likes the goatee because when I don't have the facial hair, I lose 12 years and I look like a baby man.
Face.
I look like a baby man.
Yeah.
But she likes it when I'm
You
just
said you lost your
freshly shaved
virginity
on
at
the side.
31. That was last year.
Thank you, dear. Thank you very much.
Man, we have so much furry talk.
We definitely do. Yeah.
We have to. It sucks that we are running out of time right now. So let's do more. I have so many questions for you
Absolutely.
about not just furry, but also about just in general. You're exactly what I wanted. Like, I don't know. It's so interesting.
Anytime. Thank you so much. And really, truly, thank you. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for being on my show.
And Lahna, where can people find you?
It's Lahna Turner, Turner, and that's on all my social media platforms. And Limeade, I believe if you just go on to YouTube and type in Limeade, like the beverage, it'll bring up the movie, or you could just go to Lahna Turner videos. And I believe the same thing is true on Amazon. So please enjoy and then let me know what you think.
Excellent. Please check that out, guys.
And where can people find you now?
Thank you. I am Devlin Wilder on all the places, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you can find the show at Friend or Faux Pod. That's FAUX. Also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and you can subscribe to and listen to the show. Please do on all the places: iTunes, now Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, and very soon to be on iHeartRadio. So definitely check us out there. Lahna Turner, thank you so much.
Thank
Zig,
you.
Thank you for engineering us all the way to the end. And all right.
We'll
see
do
you on
this
the
again
next-
soon.
We sure will.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I'm throwing a party when I graduate MIT. We're gonna go bowling naked. Cause 'cause I'm a sex nerd. Sex nerd. I'm making a sex robot in my science class. It's got a Tesla coil and it runs on lithium batteries. It's really cool. Sex nerd. The circumference of my member, well, it's not very long, but it's the motion of the ocean, right? I'm a whore with glasses. I've got a high IQ and I love to screw. I'm a sex nerd. Change has occurred. I'm coming out as a sex nerd. Said the worm to the bird. Hey baby, I'm your sex nerd. Let's ride segways naked and do it to some Portishead. In case you haven't heard, I'm your sex nerd.
Visit jabberjawmedia.com for more shows like this one.